Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today we are going to look at the question, was it so obvious? Is it this obvious? Have we really missed this most obvious thing all along, and what will happen to the market as a result? Before we jump into all that and the charts, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you leave. You take the time to write it. I take the time to read it and respond. Those of you who ask questions, I do look to get back to those as soon as I am able to. However, if you want more immediate engagement, interaction with me, you can find me in the Discord, the Stocks with Josh Discord. I have a Crowned Traders channel in there where I share education, insights, I share trade setups, resources, and of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? Okay. And of course, you can find all of that information in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. It will pop out and there'll be links to sign up. There is the Tribal Trades Discord waitlist email also in the description. That is currently closed, but if you send an email in, you can get on the waitlist for that when we do reopen that. Okay, so let's jump into the news. And I thought this was very interesting from Crypto Reviewing, very official name, Crypto Reviewing. Everyone's expecting alt season. That's exactly why it didn't happen. Thousands of investors were positioned for the same alt season we have seen in every previous cycle. It was too obvious, okay? And there was no way everyone can be a winner. So what happened instead? Market makers decided to delay alt season. They pushed peak euphoria and hype with Bitcoin Catalyst, but for Bitcoin only, all designed to pump Bitcoin only and leave your altcoins in the dark because they want to frustrate investors. The majority of investors only hold altcoins, so what better way to cause depression than pumping Bitcoin, leaving your altcoins behind? And their plan worked perfectly. The majority of investors have now left the market and sold. Sentiment is horrific, and altcoins are below even bear market price in some cases. And that's why now would be a perfect time to full send the market, leaving sideline investors behind. This allows the elite to pump their bags and extract as much value as possible. This is a playbook they use over and over again in the markets, and so on and so on. You can read the rest of it there. What do you think? What do you think? Was it that obvious? Was it that obvious that this is what happened and this is what's going to happen? And to a certain extent, I don't disagree with this. There are either two narratives going. The first narrative is that we're not going to ever see an alt season like we've seen in the past. And I actually think that's true. I don't think we will. I think I just heard that in the last month alone, 600,000 new altcoins were created. Majority of them, of course, are going to be meme coins that are going to go to zero. So the question is, I have said this all along. If you go back to my videos, even in May and June of last year, I shared about the concern I had at the time because Pump Fund had entered the market in January and I started streaming in May, the concern of too many tokens and not enough liquidity, and it's only gotten worse. But I do think there will be alt seasons for the quality projects that will be multi-cycle coins. And there will be some multi-cycle coins that won't have big pumps in this alt season, by the way. They'll survive into the next. Because when the reality is up here is that some coins topped out in April and May. I think Dogecoin actually topped out in April and May, and that was it. That was their all-time high. And then Bitcoin and other altcoins surged through to November. So it's quite possible that we're seeing the April dump of 2021 early in February, and really it probably started in maybe you could say arguably in January it started to drop, and we've seen a consistent drop. If you look back for most altcoins, they found their tops in January. So what if we dumped for a few months here and we found our bottom sometime here in February, maybe in March, and then pumped into May, and then the sell in May and go away? That's one theory. The other theory is that the bull market is over, for altcoins at least, and they're going into a bear market, or that the whole bull market is over and we're going into a bear market, and eventually Bitcoin is moving down to a bear market, but just more slowly because of the ETF, and it won't get hurt as severely, it won't dip as severely. What do you think in the comments below? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you disagree with crypto reviewing, or do you agree with crypto reviewing? I'll let you know where I stand. I think personally that we will still see an alt season, but it's not going to be every alt is going to pump. I think some are going to get left behind. Some have already found their tops, and be careful to be buying dips that are just going to keep dipping. And which coins are going to recover and find new all-time highs, and which coins have already found all-time highs. This is why it's important to wait for a trend reversal, okay? And it's very much important to trade the trend. And I posted this just this morning or yesterday, whatever it was. New trader mistakes: trading too big, just going in too hard, too high, not dollar cost averaging or using too much capital. Trading too often. Sometimes it's best to sit on your hands, and the best trade is no trade. Not taking profits. This is the biggest one, I feel. I feel that a lot of people are most angry and upset because you didn't take profits when the profits were there for the taking. You were trying to wait for higher prices. And this is why I always look to get profits out at 3 to 5x, at least 2x if sometimes in some cases, because it still leaves me with 65 to 80% of my bag that can pump. And if the market drops, I haven't lost anything. And so the importance of taking profits of huge, not having an exit strategy. So there's a lot of people that are going in, they have no stop loss. They buy, and then the market goes against them, and they didn't really have a plan of when they would get out, and it keeps dropping, and they feel paralyzed. And that comes down to not having a plan. When you go into a trade, know how much you're going to spend, know the token that you're going to be buying, know at what price you're going to be buying it, if you're going to be dollar cost averaging, and if you're not, know when you're going to stop out of that trade if it goes against you, and then know when you're going to be taking some profits, okay? So because when you look down here, I posted this, buy crypto, they said. Bitcoin, the founder's gone missing. Ethereum, he came out supporting communism. XRP, team is selling Bitcoin billions every year. That's right. They dump 1 billion tokens every month. So 12 billion tokens a year. Talk about the worst unlock in history every month. Tether survives, but I'm sure there's some Tether FUD there. BNB, the founder was in prison. Solana, the founder isn't even using the chain. I don't really know what that means. Is he not even using the chain? Dogecoin, the founder isn't holding any. And Cardano, the founder is arguing with bots online. So there you go. Welcome to the wacky world of crypto there. So let's look at the Bitcoin chart. I'll look at Bitcoin dominance first. And we did look at this the other day, and unfortunately for Bitcoin dominance, this hasn't been a good dump. We did see it come down, but it hit the tribal trades trend line, one trend line to rule them all. And I'm sad that it's holding up the Bitcoin dominance price, but it did. And it's came down 3 times and hit the tribal trades trend line. We've also found support on the 20 EMA on the daily, and unfortunately the 9 EMA. We temporarily lost both of those. And so this is bullish for Bitcoin and bearish for altcoins, okay? Yet some altcoins are still managing to do okay. Tau has had a nice bounce. That's one of the ones that I identified there, up from 350 to up to 400. I gave that trade there in the Discord. And then Sui as well has had a nice bounce from 305 upwards. Again, another trade that I gave in the Discord. And then Ondo, again, another trade that I gave up from the 200 EMA on the daily, up from 115 up over, it went up over the Fibonacci resistance, and now it's testing the support. And so that also I gave in the Discord. Solana has struggled a bit, of course, there, but has found support at that 169 level there. We have 169, just around this level here, about 169, has found support. And so if we look at the overall altcoin market, total 2, which includes Ethereum, we're right at the 200 EMA on the daily. We really need to hold that. Total 3, which excludes Ethereum, we've lost a bunch of crucial ones, but we're a little bit of distance away from the 200 EMA, so that's a little bit more bullish. And then the others really is going into a bear market very quickly. That is, basically everything minus the top 10. I'm pretty sure that's only been held up by the more quality tokens just outside the top 10, like Link and Sui and Tau and Avalanche, that are part of that. Others, I would actually like to see the market cap of minus the top 20 or minus the top 30. I'm sure it's not looking too good, but this is what's happened with the oversaturation, the meme coin casino, that became very corrupt very quickly with a lot of bad actors, and that's why I exited the space at that point there, and I did a video about that about a month ago. So let's look at the Bitcoin price there, and we do see, look, we are still technically in a downtrend with Bitcoin. We have lower highs and we've got lower lows. Okay, we've got lower lows. Now, of course, this wick here, a big wick there, but overall, when you look, we're just creating, even on the daily, we've got a low, a lower low, a lower low, and maybe today we can break that and close and not create, because we just had persistent lower lows here, 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. So technically, there's a downtrend. What we're looking for is reversal. We're looking for to make higher high and a higher low. Okay, that's what we're looking for on the Bitcoin chart. Now, where could we go from here? Well, number one, we're trading this level. What have I said to you all along? Buy at 95 and sell at 100, or, obviously you could sell at this Fibonacci here at 97. That's a quick little trade where you can get in now. Well, not a quick little trade. It can take a few days to play out, but I'm not saying that you have to wait a month or anything. Now, obviously, if we lose 95, this is the line in the sand that we need to hold. We lose that, which we did, but we were held up by the 100 EMA on the daily as support, and we've been held up there once, twice, and also it's double Fibonacci level here at 92,800. So I play it level to level. First of all, if we lose 95, close under there we have this 100 EMA is coming up to this next Fibonacci level of 94. That's what held just yesterday. Came down, that dip got bought up. Then we have this level here, 92, and then 90. So this would be buy levels here if this level was to hold, and we look to run it all the way up. However, if we were to lose this crucial level here, here at 90,800, well, that would bring us into, we lose the range that we've been in since over here. You can see when we got into this range, had a little bit of struggle getting up, faked out below it, and then busted up. And this was the moment when we broke over this Fibonacci at about 90,790, that it went parabolic. If we were to lose that range, then obviously that brings in a little bit more of a bearish look. And the reality is Bitcoin could come down all the way to the 200 EMA on the daily at 85 and still technically be in a bull market and still be a healthy correction, and it could still come all the way down to this 80,000. Remember, there is a CME gap at 78,000. We could come all the way down to here, and the market would still be considered in a bull market. Now, alts would take a fair hammering depending on what Bitcoin dominance did. In April of 2021, Bitcoin went from 65,000 to 28,000, and alts got obliterated. I bought that dip. I was fearful, and it was crazy, and it was one of the best dips that I ever bought, because the market bottomed out in June, went sideways till July, and then July it flew. And of course, we had July, August, and part of September, a little bit of a dump in September, and then October, November. So it was a pretty good finish to the bull run, but most alts didn't ever recover. And so what we've got to look for is we've got to look for these downtrends to finish. If we look like Sui, we don't want to be buying a dip that keeps dipping, okay? And so right now, this could be a higher low. That's a good sign. Now we need to hold this level, and we want to go up and take out this wick here, which is sitting at the high there of $3.73, so $3.74, this wick here. That creates a higher high. And then we would come back and would want to create a higher low, and that would be probably the good entry to get in on confirmation and go. Because otherwise, you're just buying a dip that keeps dipping, and it keeps dipping, and then you run out of funds. And then if we go into a bear market, these prices, Sui, if it goes back 90%, which most altcoins do from its high down, that puts it at about 50 to 60 cents. And so, you think you're getting a great dip, and actually you're not. You're just buying a dip that keeps dipping. And so sometimes it's good just to sit and to wait. And that may mean that you buy it a little higher, but then also you take the risk out of the equation that it's not just going to be a dip that just keeps dipping down and goes completely into a bear market. Or we are in that kind of April 2021 dip, that the cycle's a bit accelerated, and the dip's happening in February, a couple of months earlier, okay, and we go down heavily and we see Bitcoin drop further and have a big dump, and alts go with it, and we could see, Sui go down to, it could go down to like, $2 or $1.75 or something like that, and then recover. And that's equivalent to what happened in April when alts dropped about 65 to 75% from their all-time high. Okay, so I'm just keeping that in play. Well, let's quickly look at the liquidation levels before we wrap this up. We're following the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz, and there we go up, taking out the liquidity down there. Next move, are we coming down to 94? Wouldn't surprise me. Let's move through the levels there, and we have to the downside 93. There you can see the market makers taking that level out, and they just keep going down and up there, 93 and then up to 97, pretty much the same as yesterday. Obviously, except they've taken some more liquidity. There is a lot of liquidity upside. I would be very surprised if we didn't get back up to their 100. I do get asked, is there going to be a new all-time high for Bitcoin? First of all, we need to get above the January high, which was about 102,000. So we need to get to $103,000 in February 1st before we even look about setting a new all-time high of 110,000. I think it's still possible, but if this is the April 2021 dip come early, then we could have some more downside and for upside. I'm not ruling that out just yet. Maybe the downside is over, but we have to say, look, okay, when did the market really start to flip bearish and start to go down? And I think it's taken people off guard because Bitcoin is just not dropping like it usually does because of the institutional demands, and that's what's caught people off guard. But if you look here, Monday the 20th of January there, was it? So technically from this point here, that's been around about of a month, which would mean if we were repeating the pattern from April 2021, it would leave us with another month to go down and a month to go sideways. So we wouldn't be coming out until April, May, and then, you'd probably see it May, June, and then July, August, September, finish of the bull market, September, October. Those are just some thoughts there that I'm throwing out. Remember, very much if this, then that trader. Market conditions can change and things have to be adjusted. You have to be able to adjust and adapt as a trader, and that's what trading is. You very much have to say, if this, then that, and if this, then that. And obviously, if we lose 90,000, then the likelihood of coming down to the 200 EMA on the daily becomes very high of 85. But we're not there yet, and when we haven't even lost 95. So I'm not even going to really talk or discuss or go over those kind of possibilities. But we do see that we have been down. However, it's possible that the market may not go down as long as it did in April. We can't copy everything exactly, except to say I do think we still are in a bull market. I do think that Bitcoin will make another new all-time high because we aren't at the end of this bull market. I still do think it's going to finish around September, October, and I do still think altcoins are going to have some upside at times between now and September and October, okay? And so for me, at the end of the day, just be careful when you're trading. Remember those trading rules out there. Don't just be buying a dip that keeps dipping. Dollar cost averaging is okay, but make sure you have plenty of powder down in case the market does have further correction, number one. And number two, have your stop losses set. We're in a place in the market where we're in a downtrend. So if you're buying, you are trading essentially against the trend, and you're guessing that this is going to be the bottom, and you're guessing that this is going to be the bottom. Okay. And what do I always say about that? Those who try to pick bottoms get smelly fingers. Okay. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I didn't get it right. Stop loss out, look for an entry below, or just stay out of the market. Put your hands under your butt, just sit on your hands and wait for there to be a trend reversal where you can see some higher highs and some higher lows, and then we have a change in trend. Right now, it's clearly obvious to see that this is a downtrend that we are in right now, okay? And we want to be trend traders. We want to trade the trend, don't trade against the trend. That should have been the other rule that I put in there, is to not trade against the trend. Or if you do, you need to be prepared to stop out if you didn't quite get the trend reversal correct. For me, I'd rather see a trend reversal. This wick is quite bullish. It's a long pin bar candle. That could be the trend reversal that we're looking for, but I would like to see some confirmation of that before I start to flip bullish on Bitcoin and even some altcoins. All right, thanks for tuning in. And again, until the next episode, or until I see you on the Discord, happy trading.